worldwide. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I go by the name of Caesar, aka Mr. Sneaker Out, and you're tuned in to Apparently This Happened. I am your host, and I'm bringing you my opinion from my side, or my neck of the woods, about what's taking place in the world. Specifically today, we're talking about the Diddy trial and, my personal opinion. And who better to trust than the lady herself, man, the lady of the hour, Tisa Tells, man, with her opinion, because she's boots on the ground and she's telling us exactly what she's seeing from her perspective, and she's giving her account and what she's seeing from her perspective. And some people might find that her opinion is a little bit biased, but who better to use than a person who's biased, or who's quote unquote considered to be biased, right? Now, I have to say that she carries herself pretty well, and she might rub people the wrong way to a degree, but for me, I completely understand where she's coming from, and I applaud all her accomplishments. Before we even begin, let me do this, man. Smash the like button for her hard work, man, because we are using her content, and we are, commenting on her content and her perspective about what's taking place. Now, I have to say that this whole case has, for lack of a better word, it's just full of debauchery, man. Escapades, and certain things that take place that the common person would not partake in. I would not be partaking in, and I know the vast majority of the people who are watching this right now would not be partaking in, but it is what it is, man. Everybody has their preferences, and people do what they do when they do it. Now, personally, from what I understand, because this is day 20, and this is an account of day 20, and during day 20, they have Jane Doe on the stand. Jane Doe, who has been said to be a certain person who, for the sake of her privacy and for the sake of her son, I will not specify, but she's been attached to a high-profile rapper, and all I'll say is many men, and that's it. Many, 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 many men. No pun intended, but everything about this case has been really crazy, and the reason why I haven't been following it day by day is that on the first couple of days, man, maybe the first week, I was watching it closely, and what I was hearing was just crazy, because I don't know if you're anything like me, man. I grew up on Diddy. I grew up on, Notorious B.I.G., Mace, man, G-Dep, Flavor in Your Ear with Craig Mack and all that, and the mastermind behind all of that was the man himself, Sean Puffy Combs, right? Growing up, we came up on, wearing the Sean John clothing and all that. We might have partaken in sipping Ciroc and all that. So when you see a person who's a mastermind who created all these things now being accused of all these things, and some of these things are factual, because there's video footage of him assaulting Cassie and all that, and that's something that we will watch together too. But it's just the hardest thing is to look at people and to idolize people. I don't idolize people. Let me say I look up to people, because I'm a God-fearing man, so I don't idolize anybody, But I'll just say that when you look up to people and you look at their accomplishments and everything, and then later on you hear about their escapades and the things that they take part in, it's mind-blowing, man. It's really mind-blowing. Like, it's crazy. But let's get to it. Let's hear what Tisa Tells has to say. And shout out to her. She's going to be on Nancy Grace if she hasn't been on Nancy Grace already. She's on NBC, ABC, or something like that. If I'm getting the channels incorrect, please pardon me. I just want to express that she's doing a great job. And her level is where we aspire to be. Her level is what we aim for. And we're just giving an unbiased perspective. With that being said, before we even proceed, I'll give you a moment. Get your libations, get your snacks, whatever it is. If you're at work, grab your stuff, man. Situate yourself, get comfy, and do me a solid. Smash that like button. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. I'll give you a second to do that, alright? Alright, good looking out, man. Give me a pound. Alright, cool. Alright, without any further ado, let's get to it, and let's hear what Tisa has to say. Let's get to it.
What is up, everybody?
What up, Tisa?
Woo. Okay.
Yeah, you're
listen,
looking good. You're looking
what's
good.
going
Let's
on,
get to
everybody?
it.
Listen, we are here live from the Diddy trial. There has been a Kanye West Connect that has come up that has everybody talking. On top of that, I'm trying to get some good light.
that might explain why Kanye has the Sean John with swastika and all that crazy stuff, and he's saying that we should be more lenient on Sean John, aka Puff Daddy, and also why he must have mentioned that Kid Cudi shouldn't have testified and all that, but allegedly he firebombed the guy's porch, man, because he was seeing the guy's lady, but the lady was playing both of them, so crazy love triangle, but. Let me proceed. I'll try not to stop too much, but at the same time, you have to bear with me because we're reacting, right? All right, cool.
On top of that, okay? On top of that, the defense is ready for the worst cross-examination in the world. They are ready to actually destroy Jane. So where do we get started at, okay? First of all, let's talk about the Kanye West Connect, okay? What's good, everybody? Good morning. Let me get some energy into this, right? Yana, the defense is ready to destroy the witness. Okay. So there was like plenty of weird stuff that happened in the testimony yesterday with everything, okay? First of all, when it comes to everything, there was a situation that was told where the victim actually flew out to Vegas. The victim said that she was by a rapper and his beautiful wife, right? So that already cuts it down, right? Not the beauty part, but the wife part, right? And she.
Why are you throwing shade at the lady, Tisa? Come on, man. Like, beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So, you don't think Bianca is beautiful? Nah. My, let's see.
Was there with his beautiful wife. And they invited for a some sort of get together, some sort of birthday, some sort of this, okay? Now what happened? She ran into Anton. Anton is the
Struggling to survive the heat? If you're tired of roasting in stuffy, overheated rooms and don't have an expensive air
Smex worker, okay? They walked up and was like, yo, it's crazy seeing you here. Okay, now she said later on, I'm lining this up really good. She said later on, they went to a play, they did this, they did that, and then later on, they went to this suite where the rapper and his wife were sitting there around other people. And Anton was literally doing a do with another random woman, and everybody was watching. And I said, is this what rich people do? They get live corn? Everybody else got to watch it on pay-per-view?
That. You know what? In the hood, man, you'll see a couple guys, messing with girls, man. They might run a choo-choo on somebody, and I'm not condoning that, right? I don't really partake in these activities, man, like running choo-choos and all that extra stuff. Especially right now, I'm happily married and I'm cooling. But even before being married and being a single man, I've never seen the allure of running a choo-choo. And just a word of advice for anybody out there who's watching this, man. If you're running a choo-choo on somebody, right, and that person decides when they wake up in the morning or when they end the session and they say, you know what, I do not feel good about what just happened. I'm kind of embarrassed. I feel shameful. That person can turn around, man, and press charges on you, and there's no way to reverse it. And no matter what, your life will be ruined. Even if you get acquitted of whatever you're being accused of, your life will be ruined forever. So it's just food for thought, word to the wise. If you can avoid choo-choos and all these, like junior freak-offs, man, just do it. I'm just saying, But speaking about what she's speaking about, I think sometimes what happens is a lot of entertainers have so much access to so many different things. And in the end, what ends up happening is they get bored. And they have to find something new. So maybe seeing somebody doing the do with somebody else in their presence, man, is a kink, and they're thinking to themselves, man, I take part in, corn, in the words of Tisa. I take part in consuming corn, right? What's better than having it live? Huh?
But they get live corn. I was like, what in the eyes wide shut? Let's get the villagers and see if they really want to earn their money. What in the world is going on? But yet and still, that is what happened. Okay, fine. So where do we get it, okay? Everybody was wondering who was the rapper and who was the wife. Well, if you do a little digging, right? And you do a little research and you dig a little. Who was there those exact dates? I'll tell you who. Kanye West and Bianca. Remember when Kanye had Bianca in 47-degree Vegas weather, walking around barefoot and with a top that was literally on both sides this wide, like literally the size of a strip of juicy fruit gum, covering bikini top, and everybody was like, what is going on? Baby, remember how Kanye West was always like, Diddy taught me everything I know about being, picking out a wife. Diddy taught me everything I know. Remember when remember when Kanye said, I just F'd your B in a Sean John tank top? Remember how Kanye has been going out of his way to...
That's what I was just saying right now, man. So you and I, Tisa, we're on the same, we're seeing eye to eye right now, Right now, I'm with you. We're on the same page.
Support Diddy. Sources are saying that if you cross-reference the time frame, a rapper with a private jet, with a beautiful wife, that was in the Vegas area celebrating and causing a stir, those exact dates, right? If you go and you said, like, I was there for those exact dates, well, then what do we have? What do we actually have? Kanye has officially been pulled into this Diddy mess. Now, some people are saying, right? Don Sherrick said, I look forward to all your lives and videos. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, you guys. I'm out here in the court every day.
Yeah.
I need to find the best way to learn
commercial, but you know what? Get your point, Tisa. I support it.
Brilliant is thousands of interactive lessons in math.
Right? I'm out here in the court every day doing my thing, trying to actually get there for you guys, getting the transcripts. We're going to see this trial all the way through. But you guys, Kanye has been very, very supportive of Diddy. And it seems now we know the reason why. Because they shared friends, they shared lovers. It looks like they even shared escorts, which makes me believe that if you talk to everybody, how much are Kanye and Kim at one point, and even Kanye and Bianca actually involved? Again, when we cross-reference who was in there, right? Kanye was there. Now, it could just be some other rapper with a beautiful, beautiful wife. Now, it is important to remember that Jane said 100% that there was never anything between them. It was completely platonic. She wasn't down with the hoo, ha, ha. So we cannot say, right? We cannot say that Jane in any way, shape, or form had any relationships with Kanye or Bianca, okay? We can say that Kanye and Bianca seem like they are two weirdos. But again, anybody that has their wife walking around naked on the thing while there are children around.
Now, that's another thing I wanted to ask you guys is that with the way Kanye parades his wife and has her walking around and moving around, the way she's dressed and everything, would you say that from an artistic perspective, he's using her as his muse and that is the reason why he has her like that? Is he objectifying her? Is he, is it a form of control where he's trying to demean her? Because I don't know if I'm seeing a pattern with these ladies willing to do things to appease the men that they're with. And is it because there's a monetary gain, the status that comes with it? I'm trying to understand what it is. Like, her body is so great in his eyes that he wants to flaunt it to the world. Or again, is it just an artistic thing? I don't know. Like, you guys let me know, as we cut through this, man. But I'm just trying to make it make sense, man. Because how do you go from Jesus Walks, man, to that? Make it. I'm not here to judge a man, because in my opinion, he's a genius. And sometimes geniuses are crazy, man. We're all geniuses, and I feel like we're all crazy in our own our own right. But let me not waffle on. Let me. All right.
We already know. Again, Jane said it was platonic. However, they did call Antoine in to start a show. Antoine was happy to apply. If they really want to crack this case, they need to get Antoine on the witness stand, and he will bring everybody off. It makes me think all these people coming out and actually defending Diddy, what are they actually into? What have they done with Diddy? What does What have they actually done with Diddy? What are they actually defending? You guys, the Kanye Connect is in. It makes you think. People are saying that Kanye is going to be called to testify for Diddy. I find that very hard to believe. Why would you have Wackadoodle on the stand testifying for you? Again, why would you have Wackadoodle on the stand testifying for you? He is probably going to come in, right, with ashy feet, because you know ever since he's been on that Jesus stuff, he somehow thinks, and I literally said, Kanye, you cannot believe that God, oh, that's okay, sorry. You cannot believe that God is blessing you, because, listen, my Jesus would never bless anyone that had ashy feet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how you go from Jesus walks, man, to partaking in what you're partaking in, and then someone will argue and say, but Adam and Eve were naked in the garden, and like, they were moving around like freely and everything before they bit on the apple, and they started to see everything like for what it was, and like and started to feel shameful. But I'm just trying to make it make sense to say, like, what makes a man go from being a wholesome individual to being this person and now referring to himself as Jesus? And I know that we're all sons of God, and we're all part of the body and all that, but man, like, I'm not even trying to bring religion into this, but I'm just saying, I'm just trying to make it all make sense. Like, make it fit.
Get out of here. The first thing he would bless you with would be some lotion, olive oil, something from the Bible, to literally say you can walk around and see his ashy ankles, feet, and elbows, and no, God ain't blessing you. Yeah. Baby, that is it. That is 666, the mark of the devil, right then and there, okay?
She's saying ash is the mark of the devil.
If he got on the stand to defend Diddy, they would throw him in jail. Why would they get that wackadoodle?
I just moisturized too.
Why would they want that wackadoodle out there defending Diddy? Miss V, to be real, said, thank you. Tisa, get some coffee. I am. Listen. A lot of people say that Diddy's gonna walk. He is 100% not going to walk. I don't know what coverage everybody's listening to. The prosecution has proven their case. I know everybody's like, oh, what's the big deal? Some people are looking for...
I agree, and I feel, and if I'm wrong, you guys can come back here and we can chop it up, man. I'm just basing everything based on the facts that have been presented via the case, right? Not speculation, as far as what I know. It's a RICO trial, right? RICO, right? First and foremost, it is rare, if not, it has never happened, as far as I know, to have a RICO that has one person. Okay, cool. Usually a RICO is an organization, and it's an organized method of conducting certain things where people are racketeering and etc., right? Okay, cool. Now, I think he's going to walk because the evidence that has been presented is somewhat flimsy, and Brian Steele and the team seem to be breaking down all the evidence and everything that is being presented via testimony, right? Every time, even Jane Doe was given immunity to a degree, and I think Cassie was given immunity, so people are, they're co-responsible. Like, they're both responsible for whatever is taking place, man. And a lot of the things that are taking place, like, people are kind of, they're with the program. You get what I mean? They're with it. They're partaking in it. At some point in time, there was some form of enjoyment from it. I don't know if it was the adrenaline, the out-of-body experience. Maybe it was because it was drug-fueled and all that. But in my opinion, I just feel like the case that the prosecution has is kind of flimsy to prove without a shadow of a doubt, without any type of reasonable doubt, that he is, like, he's a monster, yeah. When it comes to being abusive and stuff like that, as far as what we hearing and as far as what yeah, he's a monster, right? If you've been in a relationship before, man, like, this is whether you're a male or female. There's some times where, like, like, your better half could get on your nerves, man, and you're like, you get what I'm saying? But emotional intelligence will have you grounding yourself, and you don't cross the line and you don't go too far. So if we're talking about him crossing the line and him being abusive, then 100% I can vouch for that. I can wholeheartedly agree that he is an abusive man who's got a serious temper problem, right? But when we're talking about a RICO, right, and we're talking about a person's personal preferences behind the scenes, like, behind closed walls, in the bedroom or in the hotel rooms, red lights and everything, with the baby oils, man, that could have people slipping all over the place and, you know, busting their heads. I'm surprised that nobody caught a case because of a liability because they slipped on some baby oil, man, because of the amount of baby oil that they were using. But that's neither here nor there, right? But when it comes to, like, you know, this RICO thing, I just think the case is not strong enough to prove without a shadow of a doubt that he is responsible, you know, for international, like, and no, interstate trafficking and human trafficking and all of that, right? I personally feel that for whatever these ladies were doing for him, there was a monetary gain on the other side. I do this for you. I stay with you. I make you happy when I do this. You make me happy by providing me this. You give me a mansion to live in. I fulfill your sexual needs or your actual needs, my bad. And so on and so forth. So it's just food for thought, man. And again, I'm just a civilian. I'm on the sidelines. I'm just like processing the information like everybody else, right? I'm just like you, right? You give me your opinion and you tell me what you think. But in my perspective, that's what it's looking like. And when all these ladies, I think, realize that they see him on dates with other women, like, for example, Young Miami or anything like females like that, right? And the Young Miamis are not willing to condone that type of behavior, and they're not willing to accept it, yet they bear the fruits of getting Bentleys and they're getting Maybachs and everything, right? Then the realization kicks in. Wow, I've been doing all of this, man, and I'm getting $10,000, and that person's doing that, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of assets and all that they get to keep, and they walk away with their dignity. Then the shame starts to kick in. That's my opinion. But you guys let me know. And again, I need you guys to bear in mind that I was raised by a woman. I come from a single parent household. I was raised by a woman. I got 2 beautiful sisters, nieces. I got a daughter. I got a better half. So my perspective is just from me looking at everything that's presented in front of me and just processing everything that's in front of me and saying, hey, this is what was going on, and this sounds like people who are, you know, were benefiting. And for somebody to get immunity, they were responsible to a degree for some of the activities that were going on. And a lot of times when the government gives immunity, they say, we'll give you immunity if you give us information. Because if you don't give us the information, then you're liable for certain things. As a civilian, if the government presents something like that to you, wouldn't you kind of be shook? Wouldn't you be like, oh, damn, man, like, you know, it seems like they got something on me, like, you know, and play ball? I don't know.
For season 1 of Taken 1, Taken 2, they want Liam Neeson to come in and say they found a whole tractor trailer full of people and there's kids and, like, women in the corner scared. That is not the modern face look of sex trafficking. Annabelle said, ashy feet, I love you. God don't give his chosen people ashy feet. I bet you if you looked and saw Jesus, whoever you believe in, I bet you their skin was like silk, smooth like butter. But honestly, a lot of people are waiting to see Liam Neeson. They don't realize that when you are walking around Target, Walmart, when you are in the club, when you are in those fancy restaurants, when you are in the hood restaurants, when you are on like spring break and see people twerking out of car windows, a lot of those girls have people pushing them to do that. A lot of those girls, even if they're tricking, gotta break it off with their good friend, their boyfriend, their whatever. A lot of those girls are being sex trafficked. And just because you don't see it like that doesn't mean that the law doesn't see it like that. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's weird to me that people are like, I still don't see the RICO. If you don't see the RICO, you need to really watch and order your steps and start praying because, my friend, you are literally living a...
I kind of disagree with you, Tisa, when it comes to that. The only reason why I disagree with you is that, yes, under the guise and under the basic standards of what a RICO is and trafficking is, right? On a minuscule degree, like in a very minimal way, they're able to weave those, you know, those charges in, right? But as I had said before, it is a flimsy case. The evidence supporting the accusations and the charges I don't feel are strong enough. The evidence is not strong enough.
A dangerous life, and if the police ever choose to look at you, baby, we will see what is what. Again,
Well,
listen.
I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I don't need to
Somebody
worry
said, but
about
are
that.
all 12 jurors feeling the same way, though, Tisa? Okay, let me just say this, right? Jurors cannot just go in and say guilty or not guilty based off vibes. I mean, technically they can. That's a tradition of racism in the legal system. So, okay, fine. But at the end of the day, when y'all say if all 12, what do y'all think is going to happen? If a mistrial happens because the jury can't agree, do y'all think he's going to get let out? He stays in the MDC doing the Diddy bot with the rats and roaches, and then a new trial starts. They have the evidence. Just because the jury is playing stupid, they 100% have the evidence. So what exactly do you guys think exactly is going to happen? They have the evidence. They have everything. It is what it is, okay? So I get what people are saying, but the fact that we are letting Diddy's people start this narrative of there's not enough, they don't really have the jury, they don't this, they don't that, Stop believing that. The evidence is there. They have proven with... It's about to start raining. No.
That's so fun. Coolest plugin I ever used.
Oh, no. It's about to start raining. Can I get... Hold on a second. I got to get the umbrella. Hold on, y'all. They have started... Hold on. Somebody's going to bring it to me. Oh, thank you. Also, you guys, really quick, why I'm getting into this commercial break. Here we go. Why I'm getting into this, just want to, oh, look at this light is good. Just want to let you guys know why I'm getting into this commercial break. I was on Nancy Grace. The links will be in the bio. Make sure you check it out.
Man.
I was on ABC, Live, Nightline, baby. We have a bunch of other stuff come. Listen,
man.
let them keep talking because, baby, they don't know that they are literally making my name boom in these streets. So I want to thank everybody that has something to say about me, good or bad, because you bought me my blessings quicker. I really appreciate y'all. Okay? Now listen, again, yes, it can be a mistrial because the jury doesn't know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, even for the mistrial, do you realize that it's still going to be the same information? With Jane, they have proven fraud, sex trafficking by fraud, by coercion, and by force. They've proven all of it in 3 days. What are they going to do? Get on the stand and say, oh, but weren't you a ho-ho-ho? Did you not say, yeah, we get it. It's the pimp romance. And that's why they want Dr. Hughes. If you guys don't remember, they want Dr. Hughes to come back. Dr. Hughes is the expert that tells everybody about the way that people are in their... Listen, they are going to, start talking about the people...
What she's basically saying is that doctor is a person who... studies the trauma and the reason why people stay in relationships where they're being trafficked and all that, and they just don't break free and go get help and report it to the authorities and all that. So it's basically a trauma expert.
That when you're in that whole thing and you are in love with your abuser, and you really... Let me move this over so I can put my...
In a way, it's almost like the Stockholm Syndrome, right? Somebody kidnaps you. Initially, you don't want to be... in their presence. You don't want to be held down by them. You don't want to be their victim. Then after a while, it depends on the time. Some people it's a year, some people it's a couple months, but you get brainwashed, or a person gets brainwashed so much that they become so familiar with the person. And there have been people who've been kidnapped who are given the ability to go to a store, go shopping, and they'll literally come back. They could easily go and tell the authorities, but for some reason, psychologically, they've been fried, and brainwashed, and they come back. So it's a similar, kind of similar, but it's, to do with trauma. And, it's pretty wild. Now, I'm just saying, I have a daughter. If somebody did that to my daughter, I'm talking about, everything that this man has done. I cannot even say on camera what I would plan to do to that person. But whatever you can imagine in your mind,
I put my umbrella over my purse, right? They really honestly think that you are in love with the abuser. That girl is still in love with them. That girl, listen, that girl is still in love with them, and that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean, just because somebody's in love with you doesn't mean that you are not guilty. Just because most people, and the fact that people are acting crazy, most people that are victims of DV are still in love with their abuser. That's why the prosecution has so much time. They don't want to come. They go into hiding. They try to protect her. They get on the stand. He's a good man, Savannah. A good man. They get on the stand and they start talking about something. He's a good man, Savannah. Like, the fact that people are so ignorant when in fact so many people have either been victims or they know somebody is victims. But somehow people think that if they just act like it doesn't exist and they act like, oh, well, you should have, then it will stop. It will not. Also, Alicia said, wanted to bless you today. Thank you so much. You said, thanks for all you do. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it. So again, all these people saying that the prosecution have proven their case, they 100% have proven their case. Now, we can talk about a jury that might just want to let him off because of whatever, but he still gets held and a new trial happens. And if that happens, baby, my ad revenue even doubles and justice still will be served. You cannot escape the hands of justice. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Diddy is on borrowed time, okay? So what's expected today with the prosecution? I expect them to act a fool. I expect Cheryl Smirsky, thank you so much for gifting a membership. I expect them to act a fool. Oh, let's get back to the Kanye thing. Y'all really think that Diddy would be dumb enough to get Kanye on the stand? He gonna come in probably looking like he's like smelling, ashy feet, and get up there and start talking about something about the Jays, talking about hell, talking about I love this and that. Like, he is going to show out. We already saw every single time he came to Diddy's defense. I will say one thing. I don't think that Diddy has realized that Kanye hates his guts. I don't think Kanye is also a Gemini, just like Trump. And Geminis, when you have beef with them or when you screw them over, baby, that beef never ends. It ends when everything ends. It ends when everything ends. And the fact that, right?
My daughter's a Gemini. Pray for me. Now, I don't really follow the star signs and all the horoscopes and everything, but yeah, pray for me.
Fact that they really trying to act like Kim and Diddy didn't delight in Kanye's downfall. Kim and Diddy weren't laughing at Kanye. Kim and Diddy weren't acting like, oh, I guess you're not part of the billionaires club anymore. The fact that they're trying to act like that, baby, it is actually laughable. And the fact that when you look at all the help he's given Diddy so far, he literally went on a rampage against Jewish people, right? Why is that important? Because Ivanka is the apple of Trump's eye. Jared Kushner comes from a heavy Jewish family. He's actually the person that's been pushing all that overseas policy, right? The fact that and Trump does listen to Jared Kushner. He is his right-hand man. The fact that you single-handedly offended someone that is the right-hand man and brother-in-law and beloved daughter of the president, Ivanka actually converted for Jared. So when you think about it, was he really helping or was he sabotaging? Because by doing those rants, he 100% said that half of Trump's inner circle is already like, yeah, no, we're not going to do it. We already know that 50 Cent is like, and it's still not happening. And on top of that, I don't think that Kanye and Trump are they on such good terms? I mean, I don't think they're enemies right now, but I don't think they're like really like that cozied up like they were with the first election. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Where does Diddy leave us? I just don't see that partnering happening. Again, I don't know what goes on in politics. Maybe it is happening and I just can't see it, but I just don't actually see it happening. But we will have to see because I'm not in those rooms. So, it's really going to have to be how the president feels when he wakes up and has his, he'd probably be loving those McDonald's breakfasts. The sausage, egg and cheese with the pancakes on the side. He'd probably be having those McDonald's breakfasts. But my whole point of the matter is, why would...
I'm really trying to find like anything that is, related to the actual like trial. That's what we're really here for, like to hear a person's opinion who's boots on the ground about what's really taking place.
He 100% that, right? Somebody said he's so done, he's still making millions while sitting in the let it break forward. He actually had she's coming back, hopefully Whitney is resting in peace. But my whole point of the matter is Diddy was a gatekeeper, and he promised people what he could do. If you did this, I could help you get a show. You could be on Revolt. I'm for helping black talent.
Well, you know what? For now, we'll just leave it at here, and we'll come back, on a like every other day or on a day-to-day basis, because at the end of the day, I struggle as a father of a daughter, and as a brother to sisters, and as a son to a mother. I just have a hard time, like, hearing about some of the things that this man has done to some of the females and stuff like that. Nobody in the world is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect. But I'm just saying that, like, a lot is taking place, man. And, and do I think he's going to go to prison? Personally, I don't. But, the wheels of justice grind slow, as they say, and we'll have to see and see how it plays out. But with that being said, I appreciate one and all for hanging out. Tisa, I appreciate your commentary, your colorful commentary, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. Shout out to you with the Nancy Grace ABC and everything in between that you're accomplishing and all the numbers you're putting up on the board. You're tuned into Apparently This Happened. I'm your host, Caesar, a.k.a. Mr. Sneaker Out, and yeah, we're going to lock off for now, man, and call it a day for this portion. And let's move on to other cool stuff that's happening in the world, man. Hopefully, I'll tell you this much. I'm not always going to be bringing drama and presenting drama and talking about drama that's happening in the world. There's a world of good happening out there, too. So if you find anything that's good out there, I'll provide you guys with an email and everything. Send it over to me and get my opinion, get my, let me see it through fresh eyes. And with that being said, you guys have a phenomenal day, and I'll get up with you guys in a second. Alright? Let me have my green tea. One.
Worldwide.